Your brain doesn't lose interest because you are lazy. It loses interest because it's run out of chemicals that was making the project, the idea, feel exciting. And the moment that chemical runs out, your brain starts quietly looking for the next one, the next project, the next idea. You got it. That's why your folder, your docs, your notes app are full of projects you've started but never touched again. And I know you've probably told yourself that it's a discipline thing or a motivation thing, and I'm going to show you what's actually happening. So let me give this thing a name. It's called novelty seeking. And it's not a flaw, it's just how some brains are wired. Your brain is literally built to chase new stimulation, new projects, new ideas, new problems. So the same brain that loses interest fast is the same brain that can generate many ideas in a very short amount of time. You have been treating your creativity as the good part and your inconsistency as the bad part, but they both come from the same place. The pattern is predictable. It always goes the same way. Phase 1, you discover something new, your brain releases dopamine, and everything feels exciting, and you tell everyone about it, you think about it every day, you stay up late at night working on that project. That feeling is real, but actually it has an expiry date, because on phase 2, the whole project, the whole idea becomes familiar. The mystery is gone, and your brain, which is wired for novelty, starts quietly to look for the next thing, the next new thing. Working or opening that project or thinking about that idea every day feels a little bit less exciting, and then something else looks a little bit more exciting. And then we have phase 3. You sit down to work on that thing and you just feel nothing. And that feeling reads like a signal, like your brain is telling you that's the wrong project, just move on. But that feeling is not true. It's just the novelty part, the novelty phase that is wearing off. Those two things are not the same. Nobody told you that. And you spent years walking away from good projects just because you thought that feeling meant something it didn't. And the funny thing is that I've experienced that so many times in my life, where I had like projects or ideas I was so excited about, and then at some point I just felt like it wasn't exciting anymore. But that's actually something I've been learning about. I'm starting to understand what's really happening. So you know the pattern, and maybe your next question is, okay, so how do I push through it? And let me tell you that question is coming from the wrong place. Every solution you've tried, like accountability partner, strict daily routines, those kind of things, they are all built on the same assumptions, that the problem is discipline, that the problem is motivation, that you have to try harder, you have to push through it, you have to be more consistent and you will be fine. But those tools, those ideas were actually designed for linear brains. And when you force a non-linear brain into a linear system, you don't get discipline, you get friction. Let me share an analogy with you. You are in a new city and someone gives you a map. You follow every turn, you follow every instruction, but you still end up lost. So you try harder. But what if the map was for a completely different city? That's generic productivity advice for non-linear brain. You are not bad at navigating. You have the wrong map. The answer isn't to try harder with the wrong map. It's to build one that actually matches the city you are in. And if this is landing for you, make sure to subscribe. Now, let me show you the practical part. So, what does the right map look like? Stop trying to never lose interest. That's not possible, and that's not the goal. For a brain like yours, it's always going to happen. The goal is to make it easy to come back to it after the dip. And the thing that makes it so simple, I call it re-entry point. A re-entry point is just a small anchor that you leave inside a project. Something that makes it possible to pick back up after a gap. 3 days, 3 weeks, doesn't matter. Without that wall of unfamiliarity that pushes your brain to go look for something new, something else. The hardest moment of a project or a new idea is not when you are in it, it's actually when you come back to it after a break. Everything feels unfamiliar and starting over feels exhausting. So the brain does what it always does, looking for something easier. So the project doesn't die because you gave up on the idea, but because the re-entry was too hard. And a re-entry point is actually the answer to one question. If I come back to this few weeks later and remember nothing, what do I need to know? Just one sentence before you close your file or your project, where you left off, what is the next tiny step, what is even the project about. Because yeah, in the deep you forget even that. Let's say you are working on a new brand. It could be something like logo is done, next thing is the domain name, or something as simple as I was just tired, it's good, come back. So here's where we are. You lose interest because your brain is wired to seek novelty. The dip is not a signal to quit, and re-entry points give you a way back in without starting over. But this is one piece, because re-entry points work best when the system they are plugging back into was actually built for your brain. And I've already made a video about exactly that. I share the framework I actually use to understand how my brain works before I build anything around it. Watch that one next. And if you found anything in this video helpful, feel free to let us know in the comment. See you there.